Okay.
So, hello everyone. Today I'm going to make my interview to my institutional tutor, Mr. David Ceballos, who is an English teacher. So, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Jennifer. I'm pretty good. And you? How are you doing?
Very happy to be here today. So, let's start with the first question.
Okay.
Okay. In your opinion, what is your perception about the potential of the smartphone as an academic tool in the EFL environments?
Well, I would say that it has a lot of potential, but it depends how you use it and how the students use it. Because sometimes it can become as a distractor. So all depends how you use it and how students use smartphones. And they are a good resource and they provide a lot of practice with internet, but you have to be careful. It depends on how big is the class. If the class is small, it depends about the backgrounds of students too, and as well as how you manage the technology as a teacher.
Okay, thank you. Well, we have to remember that now the smartphone is one of our daily tools in every aspect of our life. So what do you consider is the main difference between current students and 10-year past students?
Well, I would say the first thing I can say values. I think that most students nowadays they don't have a good practice of values like respect and another one. Yeah, that is the main thing I would say. Another thing I can see is that the students nowadays they use a lot of technology, and 10 years ago students maybe they didn't have that kind of technology, so they were not able to manage as well as students in the present. I think those could be the main differences between a student from the past 10 years and nowadays students.
That is true, because right now the students of 21st century are literally digital natives. They only use cell phones, only use laptops and the media. So what do you think about the technological society? I mean, have you attended to any trainings about the use of our smartphones?
Well, I haven't have a training about smartphone uses. I think that we have learned that in our way, doing stuff with our cell phones. And in my personal experience, I didn't want to change my old cell phone to a smart one, but I have to because of my work, because of communication with to improve communication with my family, with my relatives, and things like that. So, but I haven't had any training about using smartphones. I'm using what I have learned during these days.
Okay, no problem. Now, in what areas of teaching methodology have you been training, for example? Whatever area do you want to tell me?
Well, I have been trained in a lot of areas, such as testing methodology and well, how to create their tools to students, how to engage them into the class, how to handle difficult situations in the classroom, and things like that.
Okay. Now, what do you understand for digital immigrants and digital natives?
Well, I would say that digital immigrants, I would say that I am a digital immigrant because I am a digital native. Maybe um, young people who born on, let me see, in 2010, maybe they are digital natives, maybe. And nowadays they are between 12 years old 11, 10, I think they're digital natives because and never explained them how to use a smartphone or a computer, and they already know almost more than parents and grandparents. That I think they are digital natives, and immigrants are people who were born before this year or before this decade. I would say that.
Yeah, that's true because I'm from 2001. So I didn't used to play like with cell phones as my sister. I used to play with rocks and sticks. Okay, let's continue. Have you ever used smartphones to enrich the English learning?
Yeah, for sure. As I told you before, you have to be careful the moment you use your smartphone in the classroom, and you have to be careful and with which students do you use it in. If the class is a large one, sometimes you can abuse, and all depends as well in the background of students. Maybe in a class, not all your students have smartphones, and they have to work maybe in pair, or maybe they don't have internet connections. That there are another environments such as short classes or small classes that have just 10 students, 15 students. You can use them, and you can enrich playing with some games and a lot of things that are online or internet. You can work with them, practice. You can practice grammar, listening, speaking, and sort of things.
Okay. Now, in general, what is your perception about using smartphones as an academic tool?
Well, I would say that I'm not too kind in the environment of high school students or in public institutions, and between the ages from 13 to 19, maybe it's not too good to use with them because they get distracted easily with their cell phones, and you're trying to do one activity, and because you're native, you said native, I don't know, native, digital native, because you're digital native, they can do several activities at the same time. So if you do like if you do like a quizzes activity or something to practice or to enjoy it again, they're doing that. They are also chatting on WhatsApp, they are chatting on Facebook, they are scrolling the cell phone with another thing. So I would say that with these groups, it's more distractor than good resource. But there are another groups, for example, maybe university students or maybe small classes, like I said before, 10 students, 15 students, you can use Forget with those classes. And also you can use from another environment like digital learning and things like that.
Oh yeah, with my practice, I can say that I completely agree with what you said, because during my practice, I learned that a student and a cell phone sometimes would be distracted during all the class. They don't try to attend to what the teacher is saying if they are playing with a cell phone. Now, what do you consider is the difference between using a smartphone as an academic tool inside and virtual learning environments?
Well, the main difference is that inside you can choose if you want to use it or not, but in virtual environment you have to use your cell phone. You have to. For example, maybe the student is having a meeting on his cell phone, not on the computer. So these students don't have a choice, have to do that. So, but inside, you have to choose, okay? You can use them or not. So, but in the virtual learning environments, you don't have a choice. You have to use your cell phone. And also, if you use your cell phone on virtual learning environments and you have another gadget, like if you have a tablet or you have a laptop, and also you can be distracted easily. And even if the student is with cameras on, if students are with cameras on or not, so it can be distracted easily by different apps and things like that.
That's true. Okay. So thanks a lot for your time, for your help me with this interview. I like a lot your answers. I think you have a really special opinion about the use of smartphones, because as a teacher, you can tell me that it's really important that for use smartphones, even in the inside environment or in a virtual environment, it's really important, and the main objective is that the teacher have the control of the classes. The teacher must have the control of the discipline and what the students are doing with their cell phone, right?
Yeah, you're right. All depends on students' biology. Okay, students eager to learn. Sometimes they don't want to learn, depend on the age of the English learner, okay, of course, and depend on their motivation to learn the language. And with some students, you don't need to tell them, hey, please turn off your cell phone. They are ready to learn, but with most of them, depends on the environment you work or you have practice with. And you have to tell them, be aware, be careful with your cell phones, turn off or don't use it, and don't do this or don't do that. But there are another environments of learning that students are eager to learn. They want to learn. They don't get distracted easily because they really want, they really need. And those are some differences or some things that we have to take into account at the moment we are introducing this tool as learning as a learning resource into the class.
Okay, thanks
That's
a
what I
lot.
think. Okay, Jennifer.